and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling, yonder peasant, who is he, where and what his dwelling?
Say he lives up with Leekens, underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, as he takes his fountain.
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither, thou and I will see him dine, when we bear them hither.
Sire, the night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fills my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer.
Mark my footsteps, my good page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy blood less coldly.
Once wrote, "The naive believe everything, but the wise consider their steps." In my almost 75 years, I've seen more men and women wander about without any sort of plan or purpose than I care to admit. I'd have been the same way except for my father, and him except for his. My father's father, my grandfather, was the wisest man I've ever known. No more thoughtful man ever existed. Now, I don't mean thoughtful in the way you folks do. I mean full of thought. Always considering his steps, he was. My father taught me what his father had taught him. That in order to succeed, you have to think about it, to plan for it. Of course, his definition of success differs a bit from today, but he saw success as, at the end, being able to look back, having made this a better place, having been fair, having worked hard, having lived and loved, and, if necessary, sacrificed. I remember the first time my grandfather sat me on his knee and told me the story of a great king who lived long ago, a leader revered for his wisdom and keen sense of leadership. On the coldest night of the year, during a lavish feast, the king chanced to look out of his castle window, only to see a lowly peasant stumbling about in the dark, numbly looking for firewood. He saw the poor man turn to go, his hands empty except for 2 small sticks. Without thinking, he called for food, firewood, and a servant. And king and servant ventured out into the night after the peasant. Each time my grandfather told me that story, he pointed out how the king, without thought for his own safety and comfort, acted with great compassion. He sacrificed for the benefit of another. He came down from his castle, left his wealth for a peasant, a nobody, I'm looking back now at my life. I haven't always lived up to my grandfather's standards, but I've never stopped trying. In running the company he founded 100 years ago, I've always tried to consider my steps. I failed miserably at times, but I've always played fair, worked hard, lived and loved, and yes, sacrificed. Which brings me to today. Logan Corporation has always been headed by a Logan. Ever since my grandfather, Stephen Logan I, started it back in 1893. Back then they manufactured dry goods and sold them through catalogs to folks living on the prairies. Today, Logan Corp runs over 50 companies and manufactures everything from clothing to computers. By today's standards, I'm a very wealthy man. By my grandfather's, I'm a success. In 1 month, I'll be celebrating my 75th birthday. My Ella is gone, but daughter and son will be by my side as I try to gather enough strength in these old lungs to blow out those candles. In 1 month and a day, I'll turn over the presidency of Logan Corp to Stephen Logan IV, my son. As has been the tradition at Logan Corp, both my children were trained in every aspect of the company. But it was obvious early on that Logan Corp held little fascination for my daughter Alexandra. So, at 17, my son Steph, as we call him, started working as an errand boy in the executive offices. About the same time as Sandy Allen. Back then it was Alinsky. But you should have seen those two boys. As different as night is today, but as close as if they had been twins. Steph and Sandy worked their way up through the ranks of Logan Corp together, learning as I and my father before me the ways of hard work and free play. Until today. Sandy is as much a son to me as my own flesh and blood. But there's something in him, something I've never able to put my bony old finger on. But it's down there below the surface, just waiting to just an old man with too much time to think. In 31 more days, my reign as king will cease, and my son, heir to the Logan throne, will wear my crown. And Sandy Allen will operate as his right-hand man. May their reign be full of wisdom and compassion. And may they, as that great man once said, consider their steps.
See you later, Sheila.
Thanks.
Ooh.
Oh, another long night, Mr. Logan.
Emma was awake every hour on the hour. And as an enlightened and husband and father of the 90s, so was I.
Colic?
Again. But I think the worst of it's over.
Good.
Any mail for me?
Oh, yes.
I see the second in command was up at the Sun again.
He was here when I arrived, suit coat off, ready to face the day.
Well, I guess that makes me late. That'll never do. You know what my father always says?
Early bird gets the worm.
Mr. Stephen Logan III could not have said it better himself. Now scram! Let me get to my work.
Aye, aye, Captain Bligh.
Mind if I come in?
Come, come. Okay, well, I'll call you back. Bye. What's up?
You got a moment to discuss the future?
The future? Sure. By the way, I talked with Dad last night. He says everything just has to go through the lawyer now. But he's agreed to everything on one condition. From Dunbar, the lawyer.
One condition, eh? That's a fairly hefty condition. No layoffs? How can he expect us to agree to that? We're not running some small-time operation. We're Logan Corp, for Pete's sake.
Well, Sandy, I think it's a pretty fair condition.
Steph, I thought we agreed that with your father retiring, the task of restructuring Logan Corp would be mine. As president, you worry about getting business, and as vice president, I worry about management. I've been working on this scheme for over a year now, and laying off senior managers is simply a given. If we want to compete in today's market, we have to downsize, trim the fat. Andrew, Chuck, Semke, and Bernowski are simply part of the bigger picture.
Sandy, trimming the fat, as you put it, means laying people off. Look, I've seen your proposal. And while I agree with making Logan Corp more competitive, I can't agree with letting go of people who have dedicated the majority of their lives to this enterprise. All three of those men have families. They're productive workers. You're a brilliant businessman, Sandy.
Productive workers? I think you'll find that some of the stats don't back that up, Steph. If you believe I'm good at what I do, then let me do it my way. Fair and square, the Logan way, Steph. Look, we've got a month before your dad retires, right? I will rework the layoff angle. But you've got to give me some latitude, Steph.
You've got 2 weeks and all the latitude you want, Sandy. Just make sure there are no layoffs and that you consider your steps.
Done. Thanks, Steph.
And baby aspirin, sure. Oh, Sue, you'll never guess who just arrived. Who? A new nanny. No. It's your favorite sister-in-law. Sure, I can ask. Okay. You too. See you soon, hon. Sue sends her love.
Oh, kiss, kiss, right back at her, Steph, dear.
And she wanted to know if you'd like to come to the Christmas Eve service with us.
Not likely, brother dear. Sit, darling. No need for formality.
So, Alex, what brings you by the sweatshop?
Slumming, little brother. Slumming. Oh, Steph, you wouldn't believe the day I had. It was dreadful. Simply dreadful.
Too many sales and so little time.
How did you guess? Do you see what I have to put up with? No, sibling of mine. I was trying to put the finishing touches on Father's dreary retirement/birthday party. I spent the morning at the caterer's and the afternoon at the florist's. You know, it's no easy feat trying to arrange a party like this for the day after Christmas, on the feast of Stephen. Isn't it just like Daddy to be born on the day commemorating some guy who willingly died a couple thousand years ago for some outdated simian belief? I just simply couldn't be bothered.
Dying or believing in something?
Weren't you getting ready to leave?
Oh, here I thought you had come to see me. Ah, well, more's the pity, eh, sis? You two have a date tonight?
As her ladyship wishes.
Tomorrow, then. Close the door behind you. And think about Christmas, won't you?
How can you stand it?
What?
His constant churchy cheerfulness, his Logan sense of fair play.
It's worked for 100 years.
Well, it bores me to tears, Sandy, darling. So, what have you been up to today?
Trying to get Steph to face reality.
Little brother got his head in the sand again?
He is so committed to doing things the Logan way that he isn't facing up to facts. Any business that wants to survive today has to cut back. Your father and all the Logan ghosts before him have brainwashed him with tales of Christian loyalty and undying compassion.
So, he axed the layoffs. Does it really matter that much?
It may not matter to you, Alexandra Logan, but those of us outside the family ranks need to ensure our survival. Getting rid of some senior management will secure my place within the Logan Corporation.
You know as well as I do that while my last name may be Logan, my personality ensures that I have no place within Logan Corp. Layoffs or no. Consider yourself lucky, outsider.
You hit the nail on the head there, Ms. Logan. You could have had the presidency in the bag, Alex. You turned it down. How do you think it feels to be the son of Mervyn and Betty Olensky? I may have changed my name, but I still feel the same every time I walk into my office. I don't deserve to be here. It doesn't matter that I've given 15 years of my life to Logan Corp. No. I'm only here as long as that famed Logan compassion continues. Without the Logan name, I'm at their mercy.
Remember, darling, I'm one of them. At least in name. Listen, Sandy, they love you. Father loves you, Steph loves you. To hear them talk, you can do no wrong, no matter what your last name. Now, what they say about me is a different story entirely.
You'll never understand, will you? You just don't get it. I'll never be a Logan, Alex. I'm not about to just get handed anything. I've got to work for it the same way I've always had to. Steph can go home to his wife and kid and come in tomorrow in line for the presidency. He's the king of his castle. I'm king of nothing. I can't be sure about anything. Whatever happens, I've got to make happen. My father isn't going to hand me anything on a silver platter.
Sandy, you know Steph would never let you go. You may as well be a part of the family.
But I'm not, am I?
Ah, but you could be.
People need Christmas. People need Christmas. People need lots of love and laughter and good cheer. People need people who care about people. People need Christmas every day of the year. A time for taking time to take time for others, for sharing the reason for the season. Singing time and singing of the land. It's the very, very best time. People need Christmas. People need Christmas. People need lots of love and laughter and good cheer. People need people who care about people. People need Christmas every day of the year. A time for taking time to tell of the Savior, proclaiming the glory of the story. Worshiping our King, rejoicing as we sing. It's the very best time. People need Christmas. People need Christmas. People need lots of love and laughter and good cheer. People need people who care about people. People need Christmas every day of the year. People need Christmas. People need people. People need Christmas every day of the year.
Peace, peace, peace.
See what I mean, don't you? There's something there in the heart of the boy. He'll be vice president in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks and a day. Sandy Olensky. I remember his first day of work. So eager and bright. And he learned every bit as quick as Steph, though Steph knew the company inside out even then. But with every promotion, that feeling of uneasiness grew within me as it grows today. Sandy's father worked at Logan Corp's main manufacturing plant. His mother cleaned offices, always cared, a good woman. Maybe he resented his parents' position in life. I don't know. But as he progressed in the company, he spent less and less time with his folks. He moved into his own apartment. And when his mother died, so did his ties to his family. He got quiet. He stopped talking about his family. When he was old enough, he changed his name. I believe his father has since retired, but his brother still works as a laborer in the same plant. Still waters run deep. Another great man said that. I'm not a great man, nor a wise one, just an old one with some God-given common sense. Of course, only God knows the heart of an individual. But there's something in him, always dreaming of castles and kings, and it's no good. It's no good.
Be fine, Mr. Logan. You know how Steph loves to see you.
I don't think so. I didn't...
Sir. Good to see you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Sandy. Good to see you too, son.
So, what brings you to Logan Corp today, sir?
It's my ship for another 15 days, my boy, and I intend to see that it runs the way it was designed to. Now, Steph tells me you're reworking that proposal of yours. Anything I can do?
Well, no, but thank you for offering, sir.
I thought I heard your voice.
Steph.
Good to see you, Dad.
There's some things I want to discuss with you.
Okay, let's go for coffee.
Okay.
Steph, could I have a minute?
Later, Sandy.
Get me Alexandra Logan on the phone. Now.
Somewhere
Is Mr. Allen still here? Tell him Alexandra Logan is here to see him. It's urgent.
He's asked not to be disturbed, Miss
Look,
Logan.
you little toad, tell him I'm here.
Alex, how thoughtful of you to stop by. Thanks, Sheila. Have a good night.
And you, Mr. Allen.
You took your time, darling. Traffic.
I left as soon as you called. It took some time to get everything you asked for.
But you got it.
Of course, darling.
Did anyone see you?
Naturally. Not a soul. The Logan archives were as dead as a doornail.
Where was Gunther?
Gunther? I assume where he always is. Asleep in his office.
So you're positive no one saw you?
Well, just that insipid filing clerk Julie or Betty or something. Sandy, darling, you have no idea how my devious little mind works, do you? I had a story all cooked up about how I was working on an historical research project as a gift for Dad's retirement party. She fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
But did you get what I sent you there for?
Have I failed you yet, Mr. Allen?
You wouldn't dare.
I don't think you'll be too pleased once you've seen the stats in those files. I don't think they back up your little siphoning scenario.
Alex, darling, sometimes you have to twist the facts, doctor the data a little to get at the truth you want. Come on, we've got work to do.
He